Yes.
Yeah, now we can go back to the screen share.
Okay, so we have asked the patients that where are you from, and for your safety, tell us which area you are from, and it's dangerous for you to venture out. So accordingly, you can plan.
Can you see
Now
the
the
slide?
second thing is that we can see the slide, but it's
Okay.
not
Yeah.
full screen.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Yeah,
small.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I don't know whether everybody
Yeah.
else can see the slide.
Yes,
or not.
yes. We are seeing it on a full screen.
Okay. Yes, madam.
Okay.
Continue.
Yeah. So the thing is that you have to use minimum space or only a room in your clinic. So whatever you need from your clinic, which is necessary for examination, put it all in one room so that there is one room of entry and one room which is open. So you have to use only that much, sterilize only that much, and not many areas are contaminated in your hospital. So, and of course, there should be only a single point of entry. So so that's very, very important. So you need to decontaminate a small area so that it can be done properly. If you have a 4-5 rooms, asking the person to clean, he's not going to clean it properly. And then the next slide, please. So Swapni, I asked him to talk, so he's helping me. So basically, in this scenario, they are saying that 80% of the patient are asymptomatic. And though the count in Maharashtra is 5,500 or something, there are so many patients whom we have missed because they are not symptomatic. So there may be many more thousands floating around. You have to treat all patients as COVID patients. I will tell you why. Because in the last 2 days, there was a patient of fracture. He needed surgery, so his COVID test was done. The patient was a fracture patient with no symptoms, and his COVID came positive. Second was a patient who was referred for ECG changes. The patient died in 1 hour because his ECG was very bad. And the postmortem showed the lungs with ARDS. So he is a very, very highly COVID suspect, and the PM report is still awaited, or the COVID test is still awaited. So the thing is that you do not know that the patient is COVID because the patient may have different presentations. So you have to suspect that every patient who turns up to you is a COVID patient. So the lesser the people in your OPD, the better it is, because the second person again might be a suspect or something like that. Footwear have to be removed. You also have to be very careful with your footwear if you have got it from outside, or you have to wear coverings when you are there so that you are not bringing the footwear which you have used outside inside your clinic. And of course, I don't think that without a mask, even publicly anything is allowed. You know, there was if you see, so many slides are floating around in WhatsApp where they say that if 2 people are wearing masks and if they are having a social distance, the percentage of transmission would be only 1.5%. So that's very important. Next slide. Temperature check with a gun at the entry. So if that's possible, I don't know how much the gun costs. I have not found out. And hand wash. So this we've been doing we've been doing it for 1 month now, that even before the patient comes to register with this paper, he's given sterilizer in his hand. We have a small slip which we give the patient. Then we have a printout. Then we take it back. So don't touch anything of the patient. Don't give anything to the patient. Don't take money from the patient. If you're taking money from the patient, put it in a drawer without touching so that you don't touch it for the next 2-3 days. So nothing should be touched. And so no slips and all. And whatever report you want to give the patient, you can give it at the end. And sometimes if you want to check any patient's file, you can photograph of whatever the patient has and read it from your photographs. So that's very important. Next slide.
Madam, there are 40 people waiting to join.
Swapnesh, can we go to the next slide?
Can you hear me, madam? Madam, can you hear me? Hello?
Swapnesh, I think madam's screen is frozen.
Okay.
I don't think she's getting us.
Yeah, there's some kind of an internet lag at her end.
Her voice is also not. It was not getting clear, getting broken. It was.
Okay. Just a minute. Just give me, because I'm doing the slide screen share. I will just stop that and just see whether that helps.
Okay.
I have disabled the wait. There are 46 people who are trying to join in. I'm trying to unmute Ragini madam. Madam, can you click on your mute button? Yeah, madam. We can
I'm
hear
back,
you now?
yeah.
Yeah, I'll just share the screen again.
Yes, sorry for, I don't know, so anybody
No,
wants
actually, there were 45 people who were trying to enter the meeting.
Okay.
So the server must have hanged.
Okay, okay.
Now we are back. Can you see the slide?
Yeah, I can see the slide.
Okay.
So somebody has already asked a question, which I'll clarify, that how can you provide a hand wash at the entry? So we couldn't provide a hand wash. So we had somebody ensure that the patient is taken in, who makes the patient enter, who will get them the sanitizer in their hand. So they won't touch anywhere, they won't touch doorknobs, and to tell them and to counsel them before they enter your clinic. Next slide. Yeah.
Can you see, madam? Can everybody see?
We can see.
Yes.
Yeah, we can see.
We can see. We can see.
I'm just giving her a phone call. Yeah, I think she's back. Madam?
Wait, I was trying to send you a chat. Yeah, I can see.
Yes.
Okay. So can I continue? So
Yes.
of course, I mean, so many people already know that a slit lamp guard is necessary. Now, if you don't need to use the slit lamp, kindly don't use it. And the PPE kit is absolutely necessary for everybody, right? So this is the examination, and see, the thing is that, see, there is a wire, there is a IO being used. So you have to ensure that you are not going to touch it in any way. So you have to be very, very careful about how many things you are using, whether you are touching the patient, because if you are touching the patient with a gloved hand, and after touching the patient's skin with a gloved hand, if you are going to touch your IO, that means you're already transmitting something from the patient's skin. So that's very important. Okay. Next slide, please, Swapnesh.
Yes.
So cleaning of all instruments surfaces with means say sterilium or spirit is important. And hypochlorite for floor. So they are saying that 1.5 or 1% sodium hypochlorite is the best thing to kill the organisms. That is what we are using. In fact, we are cleaning all surfaces after the room has been used. We are also using Fuarni, as you called it, a shower of this hypochlorite after every 1 or 2 days to this thing, and we are cleaning the walls also. You can clean the walls with Bacillocid, and so that's very, very important. And like all the instruments, that you have to be very aware of what you are using, whether you're using the lens, whether the lens has touched anywhere, and everything has to be covered. So and you have to be careful as to what you are using, and you have to ask, because your optics may be damaged. So that's very, very important. Okay, next. Okay, so there is a directive, and it's very clear that you have to avoid all elective procedures and surgeries, because like I said, elective procedures, you don't know what the patient may turn out to be. Like this fracture patient, which was, I'm talking about the fracture patient 2 days back. And there was a fracture patient a month back in Pune, and lots of people had to be quarantined. So elective surgeries also. And if you have to do a surgery, then a COVID test is very, very important. Now, if the COVID is negative, does it mean that the patient is negative? No, because the patient who is negative on the second day may come positive on the 5th day. So, but it is better to do the meeting. It is much better than not doing it at all. So that's very important. You have to get a COVID done. That's what we did. Because the fracture patient's COVID was done, everybody else was safe. So, but we should not drop the guard even if it is negative, because we know of somebody whose report came positive a few days later. So if surgery is planned, then all patients X-ray chest, because the patient who was referred with chest problems turned out to be having a ARDS. And so many patients who were admitted with a supposed MI, because there were discussions whether it affects the heart muscle directly or indirectly, and patients have gone with chest pain. When the X-ray was done, it was not good, and then they turned out to be COVID. So chest X-ray are important. Again, the first chest X-ray will be normal and the patient gets patched a few days later. So that's also the same. Then the O2 levels and the LDH levels, the serum erythropoietin, all this, but not all need to be asked for. If you are doing, you have to see how many days you are doing the COVID test. Staff should be minimum in the OT. In fact, there should be no elective surgeries. And because the staff is also at risk, and the staff may say that, because I came to assist your patient. And second thing is that when the staff travels, God knows what the staff is bringing, and the staff is close to you while assisting. So social distancing when the staff assists you is extremely important. Very, very properly PPE and protective mask for the staff is very important. And the surgery has to be fast. General anesthesia, because of intubation,
The voice is gone.
No, I think even the video is gone.
Yes.
The internet connection probably at her end is slightly fluctuating. Madam?
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So you just keep a lookout for me if I am
Yes,
not
yes,
there,
yes.
so that I will be back immediately, so that I can be unmuted and we do not waste the time. Sorry.
Yeah, we can
I don't
continue.
know what is happening with the network.
Yeah. Can you see the screen now, madam?
Yeah. So once I can see the screen, yeah. So PP for all, everybody, so all protective equipments, and stop positive ventilation in the theatre. And Sapnesh, I think, will discuss about this more once we finish the presentation, right? And 20 minutes after patient has left the theatre, there should be a lot of time between patients. In fact, do not plan more than one surgery in a day. Next slide. Next slide.
Staff management. Can you see the slide of staff management?
No, I cannot see the slide of staff. Yeah. So only few staff members should be called. Hydroxychloroquine we have given to everybody, but after declaration, duty should be by rotation, because if like, so that if somebody, if supposing today there is somebody who has come, and they should be rotated only after a week. So if they have been exposed, or if you've been exposed, they don't transmit. See, it is very important how your staff is traveling, because like Dombivli, like I have 2 hotspots where my people were coming from in my OPD, and we stop them from coming because it's very dangerous. So if they are using public transport, if they are using buses, not to allow using 2-wheelers, if they are staying close by, if they are walking distance, it's much better. Okay. And basically, more than you have to teach your staff all these things, because you know all the procedures. But if you see TV, you see so many people, they are touching their nose, they're touching their mask, they're putting it up and down. So the whole purpose is not served at all. So it's important that, like in JJ, so many trainings have been conducted. So you have to first conduct a training of whoever people are going to work with you. So that's very, very important. And the most important thing is that your driver needs to be taught. In fact, like Sir's driver one day was delivering something to me, he touched the lift button and all. So Sir sat him down and talked everything to him and explained to him that he cannot go out. He has to sit in the car. His family should not go out, because if you have a small car, then you are very much at risk, and your biggest risk will be your driver, and he will be at risk from you because you are seeing patients, right? So the next slide. Clean, 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 sanitize. This is very, very important. So as many times as you can clean and sanitize, this is very, very important. And you have to wash your hands frequently. The ideal thing, there was a book called Complications, where Atul Gawande says that even without COVID, doctors and health workers transmit the maximum amount of infections. So washing hands between patients, sanitizing hands otherwise is also very necessary. And so it is very important that you have to wash your hands. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so these are various masks, and they are saying now that N95, when you are operating, maybe not of value, you have to use an N99 series. So this is going to go on and on and on. And even if you are wearing a mask, like normally when you operate, if you don't put a tape on your nose, you realize how much fogging there is on the microscope. That means you are not foolproof. Some part escapes from your mouth and some enters. So your patient and everybody who has a mask has to be given a tape, so that they tape it properly, so that they are fully covered. They do not breathe in such a way that, they are expiring air. So not only your mask has to be tight, but your patient's mask also has to be tight. So that's very important. Next slide, please. Next. So social distancing, we will all have to maintain. I think this is the biggest mantra that, see, we as surgeons know that there is so much conjunctivitis. There is an epidemic of conjunctivitis. As long as you don't touch your eye, you may see 100 patients of conjunctivitis, but you will not get it. If a conjunctivitis patient doesn't come to your OPD, when you sanitize, like even if it is a judge, we have not allowed him with conjunctivitis inside an OPD. We have given him a chair and then sanitized it separately. So this is exactly what we are going to follow now, that your patient has to be isolated, patient has to be separate, distance between everybody, you, your patient, your family, everybody. And the thing is, now that there are few patients, better to take patients only by appointments and distance them, so that once the room, they leave the room, it's all sanitized and cleaned and all that. Okay. Next slide. Use of gloves. So basically, you are using a glove and you are very safe, but you will be careful you are using. Sometimes when you use a glove, and if you're doing a procedure, it is better to use 2 gloves, because when I'm operating an HIV patient, because you see some gloves, some seepage will occur. So you have to be extremely careful. And the thing is that you can give a pair of gloves to your staff, but if you are not changing gloves between patients, then the patient is not safe, because you will transmit it. So between patients, if your staff is handling patients or touching anything, then fomite transmission will occur. So then the gloves, you can take sterilium over the gloves. Okay, so gloves are beneficial only to the person who wears it, not to the opposite person. This has to be kept in mind. So there is some social responsibility when you are wearing a glove. is because you're protecting yourself. But what about the others? So you have to sanitize in between patients if you're not changing your gloves. We routinely change patients for OT, but if you are changing between patients, then the patient remains safe. Okay. So next slide. Okay. So these things I do not know. The seniors will have to comment about the salaries and all these things. So I think they can be discussed. And of course, no eye camps, no high volume surgeries. Definitely, it is the stress of practice. Definitely, but it's very, very important to be safe. And one more thing, the thing is that the word that you have a COVID patient, or if you have seen a patient or operated, is going to spread so fast, and the stigma will be so high that you will lose a practice for a very, very long time. So the most important thing is to be safe. I have not discussed all the points because there is so much that is given in AIOS and all. I was thinking that some things which they have not covered was what we have. Most important thing I was asking, so he said, Ragini, wear glasses, wear the mask tight, don't remove it, don't touch anywhere, don't touch your face at all, go home, wash everything, change everything, and then only enter. Keep your distance from anybody so that their aerosolization or something, that virus will not transmit to you. So that's extremely important. So distancing, wearing proper masks, the masks have to be tight, and you not touching your eyes, your mouth, your face is extremely important to be safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ragini madam.
Yogesh Shah, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So your comment, sir.
Basically, Ragini has fortunately covered quite a few things. But in the mind of people, today the question is within a week's time, now that the things will start again, how do we start it? How do we go ahead? How do we practice? And I think there is a lot of difference between what a solo practitioner will face, or a group practitioner people will face, or a charitable clinic will face, or a multi-speciality hospital will face. To a large extent, I would rather prefer to cover something which a solo practitioner or kind of a group practitioner's problems are, primarily because that is where I work. I work as a solo practitioner with my family, of course, helping me out once in a while. So basically, Ragini, we are facing a problem of availability of the staff.
Yes, sir.
Our staff cannot even come, even if they are
No,
not from.
so
even
they are
if
scared.
they are staying in Virar.
They are scared, sir, and it's very difficult for them to travel because they need passes. And now the government has said you can start your clinics, and those they can show their pass, or you can WhatsApp a letter to them, or they can show that they are working with you if you have batches for your staff. But you need less staff, sir, and it's
So
not.
that's
See, the clarity is not there that we will open on the 4th of May.
Their family does not permit them leaving home.
that is one part, but
Yes,
there is no availability. Like my sister
sir,
comes
and
from.
one thing is,
She comes
so
from
one thing
Virar.
is that it's not that. Yes, sir.
How
Yes,
how
sir.
will they
So
come
trains
from?
are not running, and the government has.
So basically,
Sir, so like so
Madam, can I say
basically,
today?
sir, the lesser the people, the better it is. You please.
Madam, I had intravitreal injections today which were posted, and my staff stays at Nalasopara. There are buses available from Virar to Mantralay. So if they
Okay.
want, they can actually catch the bus, show the letter ID of your hospital, and they can come. But as Ragini madam rightly says, the lesser the staff, the better. If they want, they can come.
Yes.
Good.
So I have the routes. I have the routes through which our staff is coming, and the BST is providing buses, and the government, the meeting which Kuresh sir had, they have already said that they will allow the people to come. But frankly speaking, that if you are opening a clinic for one patient, then you can do everything to examine the patient and all that by yourself. So the thing is that the lesser the people, better it is. And you know, if the patient comes and is sitting on one chair, you are using minimum space, you are asking them to dilate with themselves and not even going nearby to put the drop, and you know, discarding, tell them to discard the bottle or take it away, or sterilize the bottle, or leave it there for 36 hours and not see another patient in the meanwhile. So the thing is that you can do iode for the patient. So the thing is that the patient sits on a chair which you can sterilize later on wearing gloves. So you can do so many things by yourself, not needing anybody, frankly. And the best thing is that if you can have somebody who's staying around you, because you know, sometimes you employ people who stay around you, or if you can have somebody you know who's willing to come and help you out. You know, you don't need trained people to do it. But basically, I think you can see, it's not as if both may suddenly, as little as possible is the best and the safest bet. Because even in a government hospital like us, our OPD is so little right now, because the OPD has gone down because so much of Mumbai is on a sealed zone.
Yeah, Ragini, is it better to examine one patient a day, or maybe, you know, once
Yes,
in
sir.
or twice in a week, you may call 5 to 7 patients or 10 patients, because, you know, once you make a setup for one patient, if you are making a setup, it becomes very difficult, very expensive as well. Will it be wiser to call by appointment at maybe 15 minutes or half an hour interval in a day,
I have a
all
live
5 to
mic
10
on, so
patients?
please don't make noise. Neeta, I request you to go and sit in the room.
Hello.
Yeah.
Sir, for me, I feel it is, we should not think about the cost. What I feel is, supposing 10 patients come to your clinic, if one of them turns out positive, they are going to trace it back and find out how many people were there. So everybody who visited that clinic, including you, will have to be quarantined on that day. So if the lesser the people, the better it is. So I would suggest that you have to weigh the options. That you really want to start your clinic, you really want to go and see that many patients, or is it, how much is the emergency? Like how many of your patients you have to divide, and you have to think about your own safety, that how many patients actually need, like Swapnesh or even Preetam told me that they went for an injection because the patient was one-eyed, and that injection was to save the patient's eye. So are you going to see, if you see a cataract, or if you, so how much is the need? How much is the patient need to see you? I would wait, and if given a choice, I would not see patients. Unless it's an emergency.
One question in my mind for all the panelists. If a patient is COVID positive,
Yes,
can we do NCT on him? Non-contact
No, sir.
tonometry?
No,
Absolutely no, sir.
no, you have no business treating him.
I
You have no business treating him in the first place.
I fail to understand one thing. The patient is COVID positive. What is that eye emergency can be there where ophthalmologist has to come in picture, risking his institution as well as himself and the staff?
No, the question is, Vinod, a patient is under treatment for glaucoma, suppose, and you need to check the intraocular pressure.
You don't need to. You presume it is the last reading and keep continuing for another 2 months.
NCT, because it creates the aerosol, is certainly contraindicated.
Correct.
Sir,
But now when you do not know, whether the
contraindicated.
patient is in incubation period or not, that means
So that's
actually
what-
NCT should not be practiced at all as of now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely, not at all.
So Swapnesh's presentation, I forgot to thank Swapnesh. Swapnesh made these presentations on the points that we had discussed. I really forgot to thank him. Why the important points were not put? Because Swapnesh has already sent the AIOS guidelines to everybody. And the AIOS guidelines, we have not repeated what was already in the guidelines, but I'm happy that you brought this up. NCT should not be done at all for any patient.
Correct. So I think that is one important point which I just wanted to drive.
Sir, no NCT, no auto refraction, no refraction, no procedures where you have to go close to the patient, because nothing is an emergency, sir. Your life, the patient's life is important. And also the rules for the COVID patients are definitely there. All COVID patients who are positive are now institutionalized. They are not roaming around home. So at least in Maharashtra, you don't find any COVID patient who is at home. They will be in an institution, so I don't think that they will come to you. And the institution can provide, because it's an institution, they can provide any urgent eye care. If the patient who is COVID positive, that's why the importance of knowing what the patient is before the patient comes to you. So the patient should not be allowed to wander around and come to your clinic. Very clearly, a COVID positive patient should not be leaving home and should not be at home. It should be in an institution.
So basically, what we are looking forward is just telemedicine. If say we don't see patients in an OPD or we don't operate right now, so majority of our consultation should be on telemedicine.
No, Vijay, that may not be 100% true.
Yeah, I was just coming to that, sir. The thing is that I recently saw 2 patients. Now, one of our very good colleagues had prescribed steroid drops by just looking at the WhatsApp photographs. What happened was that patient was treated for uveitis, and it turned out to be a viral keratitis. And he ended up, when I saw him about 3 days back, he had a plain simple herpetic keratitis inside him. The other case was of a child. He was also done a teleconsult and he was given Occupol DX ointment for his lid blepharitis and other things. But then he developed some pox-like eruptions on his skin, on the nose, which could be a zoster, which could be something else. And I had referred him back to a skin specialist. So now what options are we now left on? Like say there are patients telephoning us, and if we cannot see them in the OPD, and if we cannot say maybe someone...
Telemedication will go on for anterior segment of the eye.
Yeah. And
but
I think
for the posterior segment problems like diabetic patient having retinopathy or in fact, I happened to see a patient who had a gradual loss of vision over a period of last 3 days, he said, and he was very, very scared that even the other eye is getting a diminished vision. When I requested him to send the photographs on WhatsApp, everything was normal in the anterior segment. So I thought that maybe he's giving a history of diabetes, maybe either vitreous hemorrhage or detachment or something. In such case, we had to call the patient and physically examine him.
Most of the patients whom we are seeing in the OPD nowadays, either they are complaining of double vision, like say an uncontrolled diabetic with a third nerve palsy, or some patients with conjunctivitis, or some patients with a diminution of vision, ultimately diagnosed to have a detachment or something. So these are all the emergency cases, what I think practically whosoever are right now dealing with the OPDs. The problem again is what that we are getting calls. Thing is that we are getting calls from the nearby municipal offices whether we are doing a consultation or not. Now we have to reply to that, and like practically every one of us is going to the clinic maybe for an hour or so. But if we don't, Ragini, please.
I'm of the opinion that those who are doing.
So today, see, Swapnesh has given injection today. Nobody is saying close the clinic. But the thing is that if you are going to open the clinic, it should be with all precautions, considering your own safety first. So nobody is saying don't see patients, don't open the clinic, don't do this, don't do that. But your cost of running a clinic, wearing everything is going to be high. And so that is very, very important.
So caution has to be, we have to be very cautious now. That's the whole bottom line.
Another small, sorry.
So so the thing is now the answer is final, that it's not to see the patients.
Yes.
To see the patients if you think that the patient is an emergency. Against the AIO's guidelines have written what the emergencies are. You have to decide, take a decision. Your patients are important to you. That's fantastic as a doctor. But you have to use all universal precautions and the guidelines. You have to read them. So that's important. So can we take the next question?
Yeah. So, Madam, can I make a comment here?
Please.
Hi, Preetam.
Hi. Yeah. I will just make a quick comment.
Those who are doing
Preetam,
need to understand very clearly.
Goyal sir wants to say something. Yes, sir.
I think those who are doing telemedicine, they need to be very clear in 2 things like ophthalmology lot of things cannot be diagnosed on WhatsApp or the photographs and all that. And we can make gross mistakes by diagnosing the patient on WhatsApp and the photographs, because the machines can diagnose better or our eyes can diagnose better rather than the photographs. Second thing, it is better not to prescribe an steroid ointment or drops to the patients whom you are not examined.
Absolutely
Very
right.
true.
That
Very
can
true,
be a
sir.
big problem for you and the patient as well. And then trust me, nobody will forgive you. Even you yourself
Yes, sir.
will forgive you.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Doing telemedicine and
Pritam, you were saying something?
Yeah. So, I just have one thing to comment. I've been like Swapnesh. I've been going about once a week to the clinic, because some of my intravitreal injections have already waited more than the amount of days they're supposed to wait. So they had to take these intravitreal injections. There were some post-operative retina patients which I had to see. So I've been going once a week. Now, as a rule, what I've been doing is, once I've seen, like suppose if I've seen 4 patients in a day, what we are doing is, after having seen them, 7 days from that day, my secretary, my staff is calling them to ask them how they are. Because on an average, if a patient is, suppose, a carrier, then he would develop symptoms after 4 to 5 days or a week. That is what, the coronavirus thing is. So if you want to know whether your patient, when you saw, would have infected you or not. So if you're calling them on the 7th day and the patient is okay, at least to some extent, you know that you are safe. So that is one thing. Second thing is...
Pritam, can I interrupt?
Can I finish, madam, my points?
Yes.
Second thing is, I have divided my staff. Now I have 3 OT sisters and I have 2 boys. Now I'm doing like a tag team. I've divided them into 2 teams. So if one team comes on one day, then that team does not come for 7 days. Because again, if they are if they are inoculated, they will show up symptoms after 4 to 5 days. So they will not come till at least 4 to 5 days. In those 4 to 5 days, if I have to see someone, the second tag team comes. Then again, they will not come for 4 to 5 days. So this is another thing which I have done for my OPD.
Very true.
Because I think we are going to start our OPDs first. I think OTs are thinking about OTs is going to be much later. So, these are the few things which I have done, which I wanted to share.
Yes. So,
yeah.
Very true. So very true, Pritam. Now the only lacunae over here is that like tracing the patient is very good, but the lacunae remains that 80% of the patients. See, if you see the METT report which sir puts out every day, it is sometimes on Facebook shared by the minister. So 80% of the patients are asymptomatic. Especially the younger lot who have no comorbidities and all. So there you will be trapped thinking that the patient doesn't have anything. So the idea is, like Gaurav has asked, what about a recent onset RD? Of course, the patient needs surgery. You can do surgery. Rotation is very important, like Pritam said. The second thing is that whatever you do, if you think that you want to operate that patient, remember that you have to take all precautions to keep yourself and your staff safe. So if you're supposing, see, my house, somebody saw a patient, fundoscopy, and did IO. The patient died and turned out to be COVID positive. But the houseman was doing IO, was wearing gloves, was wearing an N95. So the houseman, his roommate, the junior houseman who accompanied, everybody turned out to be negative. So you have to be careful, because it's not that, and somebody said that exact day when we can start everything. There is not going to be any date. The virus is not going to say that, okay, tomorrow I have gone. In fact, the worst thing will be when the lockdown opens, because it will still be there. People will think that we have to go, we have to work. And that's when the second phase might start, and it might be worse, because suddenly there will be so much of traveling. So you have to take universal precautions. If you have an RD patient, you have to see the patient. Somebody has asked, in Nanded we have no patient. Can we start? So I'll give you an example of Sholapur, which had no patient, and in 3 days now Sholapur has 40 patients.
Oh.
So Nandurbar had no patients, now they have 8 patients. Malegaon did not have a single patient, and within the week they have 111 patients and 11 deaths. So don't be under the impression that we are safe and we are going to start. Can we start surgery? No, because you don't know what has happened, when it will happen. If you want to start, everybody can start. Even today, the government has said, start your clinics, COPDs, so that the government is not burdened. But it has to be with precautions.
Absolutely.
All precautions.
It is
not a single lacune in the precaution should be there.
There was one funny thing with.
Ragini,
Sorry,
madam, can I make a comment on that?
Sure.
Please, sir, please. And Goyal, sir, you gave me my first pair of glasses when I was 3 years, when I was young. And you know me from the time I was born, so kindly don't call me madam.
I will always call. That is my prerogative.
I think that you might have seen me in the hospital also when I was born. So you can't call me madam.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the regards. My point is that, little submission is that this COVID thing has probably changed our lives for henceforward forever, almost forever. In terms of observing precautions, we have to continue to be observing precautions. In terms of social distancing, we have to continue to have social distancing. Even the shoes we wear in the hospital, Vinod,
may I? Why do you want to wear shoes? Why don't you wear rubber chappals from home and make that a new normal, that every doctor will wear rubber chappals because it's easier to wash it at home with soap and water.
The point I'm trying to say is that the dropouts on the floor can be brought anywhere in the street and the home and everywhere. So we need to be aware that even the shoes we wear can be carrying contact.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir. Yes, sir.
Absolutely. Therefore, it is simpler to wear a chappal, rubber chappal, the footwear which you get on the footpath, 50 rupees mein, that is more useful today than your Gucci shoes here. Because that is something, after you remove the shoe covers or the foot covers, you're going to be able to wash those chappals with soap and water. When you can't do that with your shoes here.
Unwind your PPE, you are dropping probably the contagion on the floor. So that floor is particularly liable to cause a lot of massive...
The floor is... See, the AIOS has given guidelines. Those are already there. I'd request all our participants to go through those very detailed guidelines prepared by Namrata, Santosh and Mahipal. They are very comprehensive.
Quite exhaustive.
One or two things that I would add,
very detailed guidelines,
is that you see your patient only by appointment, number one. Number two, your operator or whoever is going to answer the telephone or give the appointment must get a lot of data from the patient, including whether they are from a particular ward or a containment zone or what. Because Ragini made this point, and it's very important for you to know that this patient is from Burli, he is from Warden Road, he is from XYZ area which is quarantined or not. So that is the second thing. The third thing is
the rule of the game can be treat everyone as a COVID positive unless proved otherwise.
Yes, sir.
No, other than that also, this history is important. And there is one more thing, Vinod, I'd like to add here is that in all your consents, please make sure that you add that have you downloaded the Arogya Setu app or not. This is one app that is going to save our skins for the long term. And as doctors, we should be promoting this to our patients, because the minute you have the app, you are going to be able to track a potential patient if required.
Yes,
now the bands are also coming in.
Sorry?
Now the hand bands are also coming in.
Band is only for the patient. The app is for the general public.
May I say something about this app? Please understand that more than 50% of the patients coming to you will not have smartphones. Just because all of us have smartphones, please don't assume that every man in the street has smartphones. Usually they have the prepaid cards and they have the tiniest possible phone just so that they can make calls. So everyone doesn't have smartphones, so they cannot download the Arogya Setu app.
And
so
even if
that's okay, but those who have can.
And even if they have fever, they are not going to disclose it. Patients don't disclose they have fever.
That's what I said, that COVID has changed the life once for a long time. You don't know how long it is going to remain like that.
This is a permanent
Yeah.
permanent shift to a different level of practice.
Yeah.
It's a permanent shift.
Way of life.
Hitendra,
Way of
we'd
life.
like to hear from you. Hitendra, where is Hitendra?
Yes, sir, I'm there. No, I have comments to make on the PPE because I saw a lot of questions, which is very practical. The problems, because what everybody is thinking that the PPE means there's a hazmat suit and an astronaut suit. So PPE is basically a personal protective equipment. For OPD reception, that equipment is not the same as a COVID treating intensivist. So I don't think that I need to wear the complete PPE kit which a COVID intensivist needs. So I think we should get that very clear, because we are going to be seeing this for the next 1 year. Because that we set for this week, next week, I think we should be able to go on for the next 1 year at least. So let's not get into that all of us have to every day wear those hazmat suits to see our patients. It's not going to happen. Believe me, it's not going to happen. You will want to go to the loo after some time. You want to eat something. You're not going to be wearing those suits, and people are talking of not using the air conditioning system. So I think let's get that very clear. What are the basic things we need? So we all need an N95, yes. We all need a protective closed goggles, yes. At max, you need a face shield. Do we need the full protective suit to see patients in the OPD? I would say at this point of time, no.
I agree with you.
So because I saw some questions on the chat that do we need
simple HIV gown, a simple HIV disposable gown is available, and that would suit your purpose even today. And
No,
I would counsel further, Hitendra, that not only you but even the staff wear the same thing. Jai Hi.
Yes, absolutely.
The
So what
staff
I
wears
wear,
the same thing that you wear, so that
exactly,
they don't feel
because
cheated.
if he gets it, I get it. It's as simple as
Not only that, it's
Same
a
thing.
psychological thing. They shouldn't feel that doctor la he dila, mala nahi dila.
exactly. So all of us have to wear. So what I was trying to say, sir, is that everybody, when they start talking of PPE, that first thing everybody gets is an astronaut suit. PPE is personal protective equipment. So you can't go kill, because this is going to happen for the next 1 year. Let's not treat for the next 1 week or 2 weeks. So these protocols that we set today should be something that I and you and our staff should be able to do economically wise also, because ultimately it'll start pinching you there also. Don't have a protocol which you can follow next week and then you can't do it month on month. You got to do it for the next 1 year. So that because I saw a lot of questions on people asking about the PPE, so I just wanted to add that point.
Dr. Preetham, Dr.
Can
Sapnesh.
I make it a point, sir?
Dr. Vijay, 1 sec.
Yeah.
Dr. Preetham and Dr. Sapnesh, I think you have sent a very good questionnaire. And why don't we go a little more systematic as per the question, so that because I don't think you have unlimited time. You will have a limitation on.
Yeah, no. We have time up till about 7:30 because our PG seminar starts at 8 p.m.
So you can't cover all the points. Hence, I'm requesting you that you go question wise. That will be better, because haphazard going may consume all the time without getting all the answers.
I agree. Absolutely agree.
Can I make a small comment, sir?
Yeah, please.
Sapnesh, go ahead.
Yeah, what is happening is that out of the staff what we have employed previously, about 2/3 of them are not going to come. Transportation issues, the issue of fear, and everything. So the first thing is like we have to overcome that fear, and as like Hitendra mentioned, we have to give them an N95 mask. What I have done at my place is that I have given them six masks to each and every staff. Like there are 10 people reporting right now. I've divided them into 3 shifts, 8 to 11, 11 to 2, and 2 to 5. Now I've given them 6 envelopes, so they put their mask at the end of the day in those envelopes. Also, the glass goggle, what is there, which we use for the post-LASIK cases, that is given to everyone, which they have to take care of. And I think whatever amount you are collecting, you can also put that in a paper bag and use that amount only after 6 days of keeping it somewhere alone inside the clinic or at your residence. Yeah. These are the few protocols I think, if we follow, like Hitendra said, that the staff should not feel that the doctor is wearing an N95 and giving me a simple 3-ply mask.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You mean to say the patient should be given N95?
No,
not the patients. But it is very important that the patient also wears a mask.
Yeah, every patient has to wear a mask. The issues about.
So is Sapnesh still there?
Yes,
Sapnesh,
yes.
still there?
There is one common
But sir,
question.
can I make a point?
Yeah, please.
Please.
So the thing is that, you know what you said about storing the mask. See,
Yeah.
the external surface of the mask,
Yeah.
we assume that there may be organisms on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to train the staff if you are going to store a mask in how to store it. If you are giving an N95. Otherwise, the best thing is to use washable, properly safe masks rather than, so best of course is N95. But if they are not stored properly, if the outside surface is touched and the inner surface is
More
touched,
dangerous. More dangerous.
more dangerous. More dangerous. So there is a system about how it has to be stored, and it should not be stored in an envelope, but it should be stored in a box where the outer surface is not covered and you are directly wearing it, you know. So that there's a system how to store it. So that's extremely
Vijay bhai,
important.
I'll send you that video, Vijay bhai.
There is a
Yeah, I know, I have it, sir.
Can I
haven't
demonstrate
seen
it?
it. Yeah.
I have a box here.
Yeah.
Can I
Yes,
demonstrate?
yes. Pritam is showing one. Pritam is
Yeah,
showing one.
Pritam, go ahead,
People have
please.
seen that
So
video.
This
Yeah,
is a
we've seen
box.
that video.
Pritam, that's extremely important. Please show.
Yeah,
This is a box.
yeah,
It
yeah.
already has the mask inside it, which I've
Absolutely.
used 1 week ago once, and this is the mask inside it. So I put the box on my face, and the mask is in place. Can you see it?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
you shouldn't touch
but
it. Huh?
now one more thing.
No, yeah.
One more thing.
And to put it back in the box,
Psychological. So no. See, Pritam. So
it's getting entangled in my
psychological.
earphone. So 1 second.
You touch that front of the mask and then that tape. So that is not to be done.
This front of the mask I have not touched.
Yeah, you touched it near the chin somewhere.
Yes.
So, you know, that's
Ragini
so
madam, you
important.
caught him. You caught him.
Absolutely, yeah. Once a
So
teacher,
that's exactly
forever
what
a
is not
teacher.
to be done. But
Exactly.
the storage is absolutely correct. Now what he did was he
Each
touched
and
the
every
front.
point is so
And just-
important.
On the mask, if you see here,
we
touched
dealt in
the
great
elastic
details.
behind his ear.
You see, my name is written here because for the staff name and the last date of use. So you keep writing the last date of use. So you can use this particular mask for up to 5 usages, but you have to make sure that you don't use this mask for at least 4 days because the virus lasts on any surface for 72 hours.
Yes.
So the same mask, so you will, if you're seeing patients every day, then you will need many such boxes. If you're
Fine.
seeing patient once a week, then you're safe. You use it this week, your next usage will be next week.
Apart
Yes.
from using the mask, I want to ask all the panelists and the participants, do you have to supply the patient the mask from our side or they need to bring it or buy it?
No.
You don't even
No,
let
sir,
them enter if they don't have a mask, yeah.
No,
If they
sir.
don't have a mask, don't let them enter your clinic or your premise. Yeah.
Sir,
Sir, we are not
just
supposed
add
to
one thing.
supply.
mask. If a patient has a normal cloth mask, for our safety, do we need to give him a this is surgical mask?
No. No.
Sir, if the patient is wearing a multiple layered cloth mask properly, see, even if you are wearing a N95, but if it is not worn properly, it is not of any use. All masks, whichever masks are worn, have to be worn properly. They have to be tight. See, if you
Just
see
a-
people, they actually have marks on their faces.
Yeah, that,
So
Just a
more than the
funny-
mask, the tie or giving a tape to the patient to tape it so that it doesn't fall down and come up. That is more important,
you're right.
as important as the mask.
You're right.
May I
I'll just
beg to differ?
I just
Yes, it is.
saying, if the patient is wearing an N95 with a filter, then you better give him a surgical mask from your side and make him put it on his N95 with a filter, because an N95 with a filter is a total disaster for the
Yeah,
you.
without a filter.
Yeah, because then actually for healthcare you don't need and you shouldn't be having an N95 with a filter. Actually, the filter masks were originally pollution masks because you don't take anything from outside. Sorry, it's the other way. Means when you are exhaling, your breath goes out.
You
So if
exhale
the patient
outside.
is sitting in front of you, he is exhaling all his breath to you, and you feel that you are safe. If he's wearing an N95 with a filter, give him a surgical mask, tell him to wear it over.
In the present time, it should be banned actually. You are harming others.
Exactly. N95 with a filter is a total disaster.
Yeah,
So that is why
Agree.
that is why I say, if as and when I start my clinic, I will wear, and my staff will all wear N95 masks with or without that filter, it doesn't matter. But my patients would be given complimentary by me a 3-ply surgical mask which is disposable and a sticking plaster, and taught how to put the sticking plaster on the nose. That way you ensure.
Absolutely.
So don't rely on patients' masks. They have all sorts of masks. Whatever mask they have, you tell them, put it in your bag. Now you wear the mask that I'm giving you. You have no idea how many times he has touched the mask, whether his children have touched the mask, who has touched, you don't know. So take out a clean mask from a box of N95, not from a box of 3-ply surgical. I think it's about 5 rupees a mask.
It used to be 1 rupee, now it is 350.
So I
Anyway,
think
15
it's
plus
very
GST.
Assume 5
sensible.
rupees a mask. Assume 5 rupees and throw it away.
1.5.
Respectfully, sir, I think it's very sensible.
I want
Very
to
sensible. I
ask
agree.
all the panelists, Mrs. Goel, namaskar. I want to ask all the panelists one thing. Vijay, Yogesh, Vinod, Kuresh, do you think it is time for, and Hitender also, do you think it is time for you to invest in a bouncer at your clinic first before everything else? No, I'm not joking. I'm very serious.
I know, you're serious.
This is a very serious question. See, I practice in a multi-speciality hospital where I'm protected by the local security in the hospital. But when you are in solo practice, and I've learned this from my colleague Cyrus Mehta, that to have a bouncer is an additional measure of security. And today's world where people are really distraught, mentally upset, and they want to get it out on somebody, the softest of soft targets is the eye surgeon.
So the best solution to this, I'll just tell you, the best solution is to keep a very good friendship with the senior inspector at the local police station.
That's too late.
Believe me,
That's
that
too late.
helps a lot.
It'll take half an hour to come at least.
That is post facto. I'm talking of
Then
preventing.
you sense trouble, and you just call them up, and they'll rush to your clinic, sir.
No, they
That is
don't.
a- that is
They
a
don't.
cavalry.
They have too much on their hands.
Sir, that is a cavalry. Ranjit Maniar sir is talking about the infantry.
Sandeep Nagvekar is the smart guy. He already has a bouncer.
That's good.
So you decide before you see the patient who you are going to see, because you're going to see patients by appointments. You
Absolutely
know
right.
who the patient is, so you have to be careful in these times. It's very, very important.
Great.
So,
A
and can we
lot
take
of-
more questions?
Yeah.
Can we take more questions?
Swapnesh, I think
Yes.
Swapnesh, what you do is let I think Swapnesh coordinate the rest of the questions.
Absolutely.
Because we have about 25 minutes left. So
Yeah.
Swapnesh,
Yes.
what you do is you take the question and direct it to one of the panelists, and we can have a quick answer and move ahead.
Yes.
Yes, Swapnesh. Yes,
Yes.
Swapnesh.
So, sir, the first question which we haven't touched upon at all is what are the panelists going to do about the salaries for their optometrist staff? Just in one line, each of you can answer. Yogesh sir first. Just in one line for this month.
I think it will vary from setup to setup. I would
What
say
are you
that,
going to do?
What I am going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, actually, 3 of my staffs have recently joined, so they are not a permanent staff. So I'm not so much bothered about them. Another 1 or 2 of them who are permanent, I will be giving them the salary.
Okay. Hitendra sir.
No, I'm going to pay everybody for April.
Okay. Vinod sir.
We have paid full for March. We have enrolled them and we requested them that we are not working and hardly we are working. So they have agreed for certain 80% or 60% cut. Matlab they will be paid 60 or 80% salary, and they have agreed for it.
Vijay sir.
Those having below 15,000 pay no cuts. Above 15,000, 2/3 of the salary this month.
Okay. Preetham sir, final word.
So I have given for March and April. I have not yet taken a call for May. Probably May, what I'll do is I'll give them 80% of the salary, and whatever I will cut, say 20% if I'm going to cut every month, I will then give it to them. This is what I've decided that what I'll cut, I'll give it to them at a later date, or I'll give it to them as a bonus later on during Diwali.
Great.
Sir, next question is, are you going to buy insurance for your staff? In this COVID times, are you going to look out for insurance for your staff Ranjit sir, if there is something at Sushrusha.
Yes, we will have to get into a group insurance for all the staff because it's mandatory. There is no way you can avoid that. And where the salary part is concerned, I'll just say one thing. Even at Sushrusha, we were shut because of quarantine because we had 1 or 2 patients positive. We are going to open in 2 days' time. But 10, 20, and 30% voluntary cut is what we are discussing with the labor unions. And that would be depending on their salary slabs, like how Vijay said. See, anybody less than 15, anybody more than this, that way. And all our office staff who are being, paid a little more, they would get a 30% cut. But insurance, yes, definitely.
Kuresh sir, any medical legal angle to this?
No, really there's no medical legal. Most of your staff must be having some insurance or the other. And the government has said that if you do have insurance, then COVID cover is implied in that. So you may not require a separate insurance cover. The insurance market just now is flooded with offers giving you 3-month insurance for COVID. You can have 90-day insurance or a 1-year insurance package. Roughly, it's about 1,000 rupees per lakh of coverage. Very, very roughly. But then they have lots of ifs and buts and exclusions. So it's a difficult thing which you'll have to take cognizance of. But if you're not working, if you're doing only emergency work and you're not seeing, for example, I am not planning to start any work soon. Really, there is no need for insurance till such time as I go back to some sort of at least a 50% of what my practice was, which I don't see in the foreseeable future. So my decision is that if when I touch about 50%, just OPD I'm talking about, 50% of OPD. At the moment, just now, I'm not going. I don't know when I'll resume. If I'm going to see 1 patient a week or 2 patients a week, it's not really worth the financials for me as a private practitioner to open the clinic. I'm continuing to pay my staff the full salary for April. Like Preetham, in May, I will cut by 20% and give them the money during Diwali. So all the insurance and everything comes in only when you're really seeing patients in a sort of, some sort of a level.
Sure. So now 3 questions at a time. This is for multi-speciality eye centers. Ragini madam, please go ahead.
Yes. So the lesser the staff, the lesser the insurance. So that would work. Second thing is that one more question, though I don't have to pay salary to my staff, but you can ensure loyalty because if you're paying them money and full pay, then they'll be more loyal because they also need the money during this time. So that's all that I'm thinking. Because if you see that the pay package that I have is
Ragini, have you dealt with labor one-on-one?
I have not.
Ragini, have you dealt with organized labor one-on-one?
It's a total different ballgame.
Organized labor. I'm talking organized labor in a hospital.
Okay.
Ragini, you are an HOD.
I have nobody to comment on this.
As far as your practitioners are concerned, the staff are very considerate and those who are loyal with you. I've not fired a single person hoping in the hope that they are dependent on you. They have been with you for all these years. So they depend on us and of course we depend on them. So I've not fired any single staff from my side. Only thing, and trust me, they were more than happy to be with me when I offered them this thing.
Yes.
I'm sure they will be loyal to everybody.
Yeah. So for question for the multi-speciality centers, Hitendra sir, please start with the answer. What are you doing for your AMC, CMC, for your machines? Any bundling promises to the companies and any thoughts of expansion or toning down of the existing Optal investments? I know it is a difficult thing to answer, but just for everybody.
No, so I am into all of this, what you just said. So Zeiss told me that they will increase my AMC, CMC for 3 more months. So suppose.
Say your voice.
Though I have a payment going Zumax that they refused to entertain, and they said you will have to keep on paying. So even for April, the money has gone. For Alcon, it's been the other way around. They have held the 3 months of payment for April, May, and June. I've already had discussion with them, but they haven't come anything on the CMC part. I hope that they will come. As far as the bundling is concerned, yes, I do have a bundling commitment, and I think the practice is going to go down, and we may not be able to give them the same numbers that we gave last year. But I think that should not be a problem. They will understand, because that's a universal phenomenon. I don't think it's going to be with me alone.
Yeah, Vinod sir, even you have a lot of equipment.
Yeah, but Dr. Jay is dealing with them, so I've got nothing to worry. And Ranjit said I should partly take a back seat, so I've taken a back seat.
Pritam sir.
Sorry, Swapnish, I didn't get the question. I was away from my computer.
Yeah. So AMC, CMC of the machines, IOL bundlings. So what is the scenario forward?
No, so as far as at Hinduja, we don't have any bundling. But as far as the clinic goes, I think I'll just echo Hitendra's words. Ours is almost a similar setup. So he said, he just mentioned it. So I have nothing to add there.
Okay, sir. Sir, can we
I
take
have
that?
a query. I have a query. Let's see, these 3 months, the load will be very less of patients. But it's not as if the cataracts are going to disappear. The patient will need a cataract surgery sometime or the other. Right?
Yeah.
So it's not as if the patients are just going to disappear from the face of this earth.
The cataract will not disappear.
Mature cataracts, we have, so all these patients are going to
The
be...
cataract will not disappear. The patients will not disappear.
Yes. Yes, sir.
But right now they are not coming. Right now they are very fearful.
Not
Just
only
a
that,
simple thing.
So
When the
right
prime-
now, let them not come. Let them not come. It's safer for you because you have to live to be able
Yeah,
to
yeah.
see and
but
operate
Ragini madam,
Yeah.
but
Yes, sir.
I think there is one point which we need to remember. With the kind of financial crisis which everyone is going to face,
Yes,
they
sir.
will go down on the packages.
Yes,
Even
sir,
if they
that's
come,
true.
they will try
That's
to
true.
select a package which is more economical. So eventually, your earning is bound to come down. There is no
Yes,
question
sir.
about it. You will
So
have
that
to have a
was very true, sir. I
separate
think that
limit
is-
set up. One will have to decide what is going to be my
Yes, sir. So that was
probable
actually part
income.
of...
Probable income in the near future,
if
maybe
I
for
may
next
just
1
add.
year.
Yogesh
And
bhai,
So that,
accordingly try and
so
plan.
that was, I think that
other
was what
things.
was...
mostly you will have to agree to what the patient offers you mostly.
Correct.
So that was,
If in the coming 1 year, we are able to make money so as to just suffice for the staff and for AMCs and CMCs, I think that should be more than enough, because
Bills related taxes, bills related.
things are not going to improve for the next 1.5 years time.
But Vijay, there are so many people who are paying rent, for example,
absolutely right, sir.
for their the staff salary
that's-
besides the
The situation is
consumable
like that,
which
sir.
and if at all, if they have entered into kind of EMI for certain equipments or IOL bundling or any other thing, then all those factors will have to be taken into account.
As far as bundling and all those pressures from companies are concerned, I would personally feel that if you write to AIOS about your particular problem, the AIOS may come to our help, because it is
Individual, they will not come.
no, I'm
I
not.
think
They might set up a
Vinod,
general
there is
guideline.
I'm not.
there is a force majeure clause in every contract. It is implied, a force
I'm
majeure.
I'm agreeing with
Now,
you. What I'm
For the
saying.
next 6 months, the force majeure will apply so that your bundling, ye 6 mahina folk. You
That's-
remember when you used to bet on the horses, okay, and Dawood lost, you would say, okay, this one is folk. That way, this 6 months will be folk for that force majeure, because of force majeure on the pandemic. That is how you have to approach your bundlings.
No,
That
personally, I,
EMIs have to be.
Even that force majeure clause is not there in your agreement. Even if it is not there, if there is no adverse comment regarding that, then you can always say that there is something like what is called frustration. You can escape out of that liability by saying that I don't have that kind of a revenue generation.
Sir,
This is a kind of frustration.
Sir, I feel that bundling, I don't think should be really a concern, because see, these are companies who have to do business with you even later. I mean,
Exactly.
with everybody. So I don't think that, for me, that is actually bundling is not even in my, in scheme of things, because I have a bundling, but it's okay. They understand. And all the companies ultimately will keep on having business with you. So I think that should be the least of our force majeure for a rental place. I mean, I had had my discussion on a lot of groups, and you can take it the way you want to. For example, my landlord said you have to pay the rent, so I paid. I mean, that's it. I didn't argue on this, but but although I have a force majeure clause in my agreement, but I didn't, I didn't argue with him, because for me
You
the
didn't
stakes are
invoke
high.
it.
I have
You
to
were being a
continue.
gentleman.
So the next question is regarding fumigation. Let's have a quick answer from everybody. What are they doing for their OTs? Yogesh sir?
No, I have not yet started the OT
Okay.
as of now.
Okay. Hitendra sir?
But I don't intend to start it even on the third.
So actually,
Maybe
OT
I will.
is, as sir said, we are not operating. So right now everything is in shutdown mode. But actually, yes, when we begin, we will have to begin as we began when we actually constructed a OT. All the protocols, which are very standard protocols. And no, I just wanted to add, Sapnesh, on the AC part, if I can just put in, because I think there was a slide and people asked questions also on the chat. So what I feel is that there is a lot of talk now happening, because I used to use a split AC in my old place, and because I shifted to a new place, I had space. I have 2 OTs with 2 separate air handling units with laminar flow, HEPA filter, and everything. Now, all of a sudden, all that has gone for a toss. 2 decades and 3 decades of knowledge on ophthalmic asepsis, on OT asepsis, on temperature, humidity, positive pressure, HEPA filter, laminar flow has all gone to the toss, and people are saying you don't need positive pressure. So basically, we cannot be doing things just because something at this point of time seems right or wrong to us. So if there is some more time, I feel that there is no need to stop the AC system. If you're very, very worried, there are something called, you can ask your AHU guy, I've discussed with him at length, there are dampeners in the system. They can put the dampeners, they can stop the positive pressure, your AC system will be still good. But I feel operating in a hot environment in the OT, I mean, you'll give some other problem to the patient.
No, that's
So can I answer this thing? I just for the NABH, for the NABH, I have a similar modular OT system. We do a air test. Now that air test report says that what is the filter size which your AHU has.
Correct.
My wall plenums have a 10 micron filter. There is a air entry which is 10% of fresh air taken for every cycle.
Correct.
That makes, if you put it on for 2 minutes, there is a fresh rotation of air.
Yes.
Then there is again a 10 micron filter. Then there is a 3 micron filter where UV light enters. And at the plenum, where the actual AC force comes on the OT bed, there is a 0.3 micron filter, which is almost like a N95 mask, which is N99 mask, which is on your OT roof. So he told me that it is absolutely not required. It is the filter is actually.
Same thing my AHU guy told me today. I discussed at length with him. He says, don't do it. It does not matter. But even if you're very worried, we can stop the positive pressure.
Yes.
So the point is that till we start, Ranjit, 1 minute, Ranjit, 1 minute. So that the point is that till we start the OT, maybe 1 month, 2 months, or whatever, 15 days, about 3 months, we should continue the same protocol of starting the switching on the AC for 1 or 2 hours and put
That
off.
is very important.
Correct.
You have to switch on the AC.
We should not
You should clean the OT regularly.
Yes.
You should clean the walls regularly, and you have to put on the AC regularly. And those who do not have the special units,
at least alternate day they should run their OT.
they should also on their microscopes for at least 1 hour.
Yeah.
That is
And
very important, so that
before-
the fungus doesn't develop in.
Possibly before we reopen, I think culture swabs taken twice.
that is
okay,
mandatory,
sir.
sir.
But
That is
even
mandatory.
now, if it is
Mandatory.
possible to go to the OT, we should do it every day. And practically every day. And the sterile water, whatever you've been using, you have to throw it off before you start the next cycle again.
Hitendra, the issue of positive versus negative pressure is still in a nascent stage of discussion. I think it's too premature to discuss positive versus negative pressure requirement at this moment in time in this because we are not going to be starting OTs right now. We will take that as a separate subject. Positive pressure, which we have been doing right now all these years, versus negative pressure, which is what is being recommended for COVID surgeries. So, Sapnesh, can we go to the next question?
So also adding that whoever has green laser and YAG laser, they should on the machine and fire some shots because the laser cavity can degenerate.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
So every week when I go, I wash the OT flooring, the walls, on the AC for 2 hours, and just on my green laser and the YAG laser.
You should on all your machines. You should take printouts of the OCT. You should take printouts of the topographer. They all should be done every day or every alternate day.
So surface cleaning. Do we all agree that 1% sodium hypochlorite is the only solution, or as Dr. Nikhil Gokhale had posted, even Bacillocid is equally good?
Bacillocid or Lysol, whichever you have.
No, Lysol is for floor, sir.
Floors, yeah, for the floor.
Yeah.
And what what does Donald Trump feel on this?
The sodium hypochlorite solution to be used for a non-corrosive surfaces.
Some of us are a bit sensitive to hypochlorite smell, some stars, other things. So I think Lysol for the floor and Bacillocid for the wall is equally good.
Yeah,
The surfaces, including tables, are very important.
yes. Yeah, tabletops and everything. Handles.
So Bacillol 25 spray. Bacillol 25 spray is the best.
Yeah, door handles and all. Yeah.
Gokhale sir?
Yeah.
Nikhil.
Yeah.
You had posted something on the group regarding Bacillocid.
Yeah.
Equally as good as sodium hypochlorite.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically, what Vijay is telling is Bacillol 25. That is different.
That is for the surface.
That is alcoholic spray for
Alcoholic.
equipment, slit lamps, and other things.
Absolutely right.
What I mentioned was Bacillocid. There
Bacillocid,
are two types
yeah.
of Bacillocid. One is called Bacillocid Extra, which is normally advised for pharma industry, where you can use 1% or 0.5%, and we have Bacillocid Special, which we use in the OT normally at 2%, which you can use at 0.25 or 0.5% as a mop, and we can use it to clean surfaces or the flooring of the ward, or maybe the OPD. You can use that also. You can use Lysol. Again, Lysol is 80% benzalkonium chloride. So I calculated actually the Lysol which we get, it says you put 15 ml in 4 liters water, which is turning out to be about 0.467% concentration. Whether we need to use higher concentration for the actual, this coronavirus, I'm not sure, because for example, at Jipmer, where my son is there, they're using 7% Lysol they've mentioned. So how they've made, I'm still trying to figure out. But the Lysol that we get, whether we can use the concentration mentioned on the bottle or we need to use higher concentration, that we need to clarify. Again, regarding hypochlorite, there is a study which I put on the our chats very often, which says that even 0.1% can be good enough, but we have to use, everywhere they're mentioning 1%, but basic problem is that at least the distributors are not able to deliver hypochlorite. So if we don't have hypochlorite, instead of panicking and buying in black market, we can use Bacillocid. I talked to microbiologist Dr. Savitri from LV Prasad. She said it's probably even better than hypochlorite because it doesn't cause corrosion of surfaces. But I think this is something that we all need to have, some sort of, we should all agree on, and then probably we can, use it that way.
So for us, we have Bacillocid and Hypo both available. So for so many years, we have been using Bacillocid for the OT tables, for the trolleys, for the surfaces, for the IV stands, for the microscope stands, for the walls. So Bacillocid is like how you use, it gives very strong fumes.
Yeah.
So Bacillocid is extremely good. And we have been regularly, means when you do major cleaning of the OT every week, so we've been sanitizing all surfaces, and when we prepare a OT, when we do a camp, we wash it and then we sanitize it or clean it with Bacillocid. Means all the trolleys and all the surfaces. Like say supposing if you have an IV stand, so you can clean it with Bacillocid. So that's very important. So I think if Hypo is not available, Bacillocid is very good. We've been using it for so many years. We are using Hypo now because for us, Hypo is also available freely.
Yeah, hypochlorite is much cheaper, but I would request if some of us know any microbiologists personally in a hospital, if they can talk to the microbiologist and put the feedback on CME update so that, we are more confident of what we are doing. And what I am thinking of doing is that if I see 2 or 3 patients with one receptionist, after we exit, after that my washing person will come and put bacillocid or hypochlorite or whatever, after 1 hour or whatever, so that we don't crisscross each other. So at one time only one staff will be there and we don't mix up at all.
Sapnesh, any next question we have?
Yeah, one last question. Consensus whether cataract and LASIK both are aerosol generating procedures, yes or no?
Which one? Cataract and?
Cataract and LASIK, whether both of them are aerosol generating procedures.
Cataract definitely by phacoemulsification, definitely.
Yeah, but it doesn't come out. It doesn't come out.
No, it can.
In the
No, sir.
cataract, how does the aerosol come out? It doesn't come out. LASIK, yes, when you move the blade, it definitely generates an aerosol.
No, sir. When the phaco probe is vibrating, you can see. No, you can see a regurgitation.
That is inside.
sometimes.
It doesn't come out. No? It's by the endothelium and everything is there.
So that is if we presume it's absolutely, yeah. Yeah,
Vijay
madam.
Vijay bhai.
Yeah.
Vijay bhai, dadi mein haath tha.
So watertight, there is no leakage from the edges of not there. There always is leakage, sir.
Please assume that both cataract and your LASIK is aerosol generating. As and when you get permission to do cataract surgery, that time you talk about LASIK and cataract. As of now, you're not doing it. Don't finish everything in this 1.5 hours. You need something to talk about. You will forget.
There should be a COVID-3 now. COVID-3 next.
Quresh is going to tell you that SICS is the way to go.
And so one good thing, one consolation is we are always worried that the cataract patient will go to a neighbor. The good thing is even our neighbor is scared, so don't worry.
2/3. I just did a study on the day the Prime Minister announced that there is a lockdown. I had 176 patients waiting for the surgery. We started calling them up day before yesterday, and 2/3 of them refused to come.
Yeah, they will not come.
They are scared. They are pretty scared. So you are scared, your staff is scared, and the patients are also scared. So nobody's going to run away anywhere.
With us. Vijay, do share your list of 176 with us.
Yeah,
मला 6 तरी पाठव. 6 ते तो भेज दे यार.
No, I'm just telling you. I'm telling you the
I
statistics.
am also telling you.
Patients
ते
are
तो
not
भेज दे.
ready.
170 रख दे तू.
A double-handed phaco surgeon.
Thank you all. I need to leave.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it's almost 7:30. I think with
Thank you,
permission
everybody.
of all the seniors, we will conclude this. Because frankly, we have 8 o'clock. We have the PG seminar on the same platform.
We are missing Lahane sir.
Yeah, I know. Yes, we are thoroughly missing him.
He is very busy. He's extremely busy keeping the world safe.
Absolutely right.
And
Thank you
seeing that
from
the
us.
COVID patients live, so
Thank you everybody.
Thank you, everybody.
And
Thank you so much.
Ragini,
Thank you.
Vijay,
Bye. Good
Vinod,
Thank you.
Yogesh, Suresh,
thank you, sir. Thank you,
Swapnesh
sir.
and Preetham. Thank you.
And
Thank you very much to everyone.
And all our audience. Thank you.
Preetham sir,
so much.
sir,
Thank
one
you.
last comment.
Thank
Yes.
you so much.
Sir,
Thank you.
in my house, there are 4 generations who are staying. When I come home from hospital, my grandfather tells me, come as if you have come from a funeral. You have to not touch anywhere.
Yes.
Remove your chappals outside.
Absolutely
where
right.
The hypochlorite is sprayed on the floor, and straight away enter the bathroom and take a hot water bath.
No, that's
तू-
mandatory.
एक-
That's mandatory.
स्वप्नेश एक प्रश्न विचारतोय तुला. तू बाहेर कशाला जातोस?
भाजी आणायला तर जायला पाहिजे.
And if you have a pet in the house, you have to be very more careful.
Yes, yes.
If there's a
Thank
pet
you.
in the house, please be very careful.
Thank
No,
you.
please don't call Swapnesh's pet a pet. That is part of the family. It's not a
Yeah,
pet.
even mine is
It
part
is
of the
a Sawan-
family.
It is a Sawan family member.
But Vijay, please keep it. Please
Thank
keep it. Yes. And I'd also say Anil also is looking great with that white one here.
He's
Thank
talking
you.
about the Dadi, huh?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preetham
Anita,
sir,
hi.
thank you. Ragini madam, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
everyone.
Thank you,
Swapnesh.
everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so
Thank
much.
you, Manya
Thank you.
sir, Goyal sir, Yogesh
Thank you for
sir,
all the valuable advice. Thank you.
Jitendra.
Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you,
Thanks a
everybody.
lot. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.